My name is Alwyn Smith. That's the who. The what would be this documentary on Essex County College. Why? Recently, Essex County College was cited by the Middle State Association for possibly losing its accreditation. Now, this documentary serves to answer 3 questions. Will they lose their accreditation? What measures are being put in place to prevent this from happening? And if they are going to lose their accreditation, who is responsible?
So the first question was, what state are we in? We are on warning, as you know, from middle states. One of the problems is that we have been doing assessment at the college, but there's been no true organized and overseen type effort. What middle states said is you're collecting data, but you're not necessarily using that data to improve courses and programs and the gen ed curriculum. So we have to show that we have an organized effort that's moving us forward, and that the information that we find out from doing assessment studies is used then and incorporated back into budgetary issues, into personnel hiring, etc. Even lab facilities, upgrading equipment and things like that, so that we can improve all of our courses, our programs, and our gen ed component of our education here.
At the moment, I would say that the college is very engaged. They put together a strong team, the SLOAT team, which is student learning outcome assessment, where they're trying to tackle pretty much head-on the 2 assessment that we were not able to meet at the Middle States when the Middle States were here back in 2011. So they're pretty much trying to tackle that head-on. They have a great team with great mathematicians, and they're pretty much doing their best that they could to rectify it and to make sure that we get off warning.
We have to come off warning by June of 2013. This is our first chance to come off warning. So everyone, of course, wants us to come off warning right away, but if it doesn't happen in April, that's okay, because we still have a full year. We really have only worked on the deficiencies less than a year, because we got our official warning June last year, so we've only had about 10 months to rectify everything.
No courses were actually affirmed as fulfilling computer literacy, I believe, or very few, and not all students have to take them. We aren't certain that courses are necessary, because at least a certain percentage of students come in with basic computer literacy. What we're actually going to be doing is giving a test. Okay. We're going to be soliciting student volunteers to take a technological literacy test, and that's going to give us a sample and see where we're at with regard to technological literacy. There's a possibility that that assessment is going to be done through a test that we're actually purchasing from an outside agency, and a lot of institutions are going that direction.
Now we're getting the work done. We're moving truly at warp speed. We've done a ton of work. We have revised 500 course outlines. We only offer 555 course outlines of courses at the college. So And some of those are offered through the UMDNJ Allied Health Joint Programs. We only have 11 more course outlines to go. So in less than 2 years, we got almost 500 course outlines done. We revised all the program goals for 73 programs at the college. So we've done a ton of work. People are getting tired of spending all this money on financial aid and sending people to college and then students don't pass. We have the lowest graduation rate out of all county colleges in New Jersey, 5.some% in 3 years. That's very disappointing. So if you're the person who controls the purse strings, wouldn't you say that college should be closed down? They only graduate 5% of their students, and we're spending all this money, the millions of dollars every year in financial aid. So what's happening? And if they ask us what's happening, we say, we don't know. Like, students just, they don't graduate. That's a problem. We need to find out why they're not graduating.
Well, with anything, it always comes from the top. So if the school is going through an accreditation process right now, then of course you'd have to say that that's a fault of the people that are in charge. I mean, we have a fairly new president. I'm not sure about the whole administration, the old president, what measures he put in place that led to this process. Of course, it's not. Of course, it doesn't stop at her, which is President Abdullah. But I would say that if there's such an issue, then the blame has to be given from the top.
When I started here 15 years ago, we had over 220 faculty members, and we had about 6,000 some students. Now we have about 120 faculty members and over 13,000 students. So we have the number of faculty and we doubled the number of students. So who's going to do all this work? Who's going to do all the assessment? When you have adjuncts in the classroom, adjuncts are fantastic teachers, but they don't get paid a lot. So how do you have them collect data and write up reports and things like that without compensating us for that time? So we're in a lot of trouble. There's a lot. It's almost like a perfect storm. We have fewer people to do the work. The work was shelved for a long time. 10 years ago when Middle States came here, they wanted a plan for assessing student outcomes. And we gave them a plan. But they warned us that when we come back next time, you can't just have the plan. The plan can't just be a plan sitting on a notebook and a shelf. It's got to be in action. We didn't get to that point. They can't expect us to do miracles in a year. I don't know what the expectations are of the visiting team. If they tell us we have to be there, personally, I think we're going to fall short.
As of right now, a lot of students are kind of aware that there is a accreditation issue, but I think that most of them are not really aware, or if they are aware, they don't really know the full impact of what it means to be discredited as an institution.
What do you know about the Middle State process?
What's that?
As a student, you shouldn't necessarily be worried. We have people working on this, and they're really top-notch people who all know exactly what the pieces are that have to be put into the puzzle. The problem is the timing. If we don't come off warning in April, then that just means that we have another year to get our act together and get where we need to be. We've done everything possible. Nobody's been, neglecting the responsibility. Everybody's been taking this seriously. We have done as much as we possibly could. Whether we come off of warning or not, it's just a timing thing. The faculty have really done a great job coming together. They have written specific learning objectives for every program and for every course, and we already have them as part of the statewide transfer agreement for every general education course. So we have outcomes or expectations with student learning outcomes assessment is making us more accountable. We want to make sure that when we say a student graduated from ECC with this degree, or when they pass this course, then they know this particular content, this knowledge, these behaviors, these skills. And that includes lab work, that includes if you're in a drama class, being able to act or produce a play, whatever they do there. If you're in a technology course, can you edit a film? Things like that. So all of the goals and objectives we have for each of the courses are specific to the discipline in which they are.
I'm getting pretty old. I guess I could retire. But I don't want to have to do that. I've been working as hard as I can so as to help us retain accreditation. I would like the place to be open even if I am retired.
Yeah, I understand. All right, thanks for the interview.
You're welcome.
All right.